Hi, this is Frank Korea, and we are less than 6 weeks away from the general. And I'm going to give my update on the governor's race, which is Kavanaugh. Let's face it, nobody cares right now. It's a giant holding pattern, and the longer this goes, the better this is for Democrats. Nobody cares right now. They don't care about the governor's race, they don't care about the Senate race. It's all about Kavanaugh. And I have some political friends on the right who thinks that I am silly, that the Kavanaugh hearings are affecting the polls, and they most certainly are. Um, this is to put this in contrast. Now that Jeff Flake has again announced his candidacy for president. Oh, sorry, waited a week now, at least a week, or actually he said up to, but not greater than a week. I'll figure out what he meant in a minute. For the investigation. Um, this is kind of like when the stock market crashed in 2008. This is a very slow death. And once you think you've hit rock bottom as a party, we go a little bit deeper. Remember, Jeff Flake is running for president. And quite frankly, I don't think the votes were there. I think even though he said this morning that he was going to vote for Kavanaugh, I don't think Murkowski or Collins or Manchin on the other side were willing to vote. And you need 50 to get there. You need one more, and I don't think he had the vote. And I think when he got accosted in the elevator by a couple of women, that sort of decided it for him that, yeah, he needs the week to go forward. But the longer this goes, the worse this is for the Republican Party. There's no way around it. Because it's not about finding truth, and I've said this from the beginning. It is not about finding whether she is right, whether he was right, or if they're somewhere in the middle. This is about politics. And the longer this goes, the worse this is for the Republican Party. And it's all the way down the ballot. Gillum is outside of the margin of error. One poll had him up by 9. And I wouldn't be surprised if that grew, because it doesn't matter how much Republicans spend right now. Optics look bad. It doesn't matter that Gillum's running mate is an anti-Semite who blamed the Jews for his loss in some election when he was in college. It's all about the Kavanaugh hearings. And on the Senate side, where is Bill Nelson? He might as well be in outer space, because we haven't seen a lick of him in weeks. And he's in one poll leading outside of the margin of error. Now, this is a very limited poll. It was like 4%. Most polls have it between 1 for Scott and 2 for Nelson. But this is all the Kavanaugh hearings. And the longer this goes, this is Chinese water torture, this is death by 1,000 cuts, whatever you want to call it. And many of you who are Republicans may think of me as a giant rhino right now. But I said that this was the worst case scenario. And coming into this afternoon, I was going to say, because I used some Star Wars analogies. Basically, yesterday, this was like Luke going to Bespin and Cloud City, for those who are not nerds, and having his arm cut off. And the robotic arm, the robotic droid, medical droid, built his arm back up. And that was kind of Lindsey Graham yesterday. Well, after today, that's pretty much gone. It's like now the Empire is back, and it's ready to attack again. And the longer this thing goes, the worse it is. And by pushing it out a week, so just for the timing, the longest modern confirmation is Clarence Thomas at 99 days from announcement to passing through the Senate, the entire Senate is 99 days. The shortest is Ruth Bader Ginsburg at, I think it's 50, though it seemed like it was less than that. The general election is less than 40 days away. So by pushing this out a week, and let's say it fails on that Tuesday, because Monday the 8th is a holiday. So let's say it fails on, and they could have a vote on the 8th, but let's say it fails on the 9th. To get a justice onto the court before the new Senate, and I'm a believer at this point now that the Democrats will win the United States Senate. Democrats will do everything to stall, but they're running out of days. So unless somebody's going to come in Christmas in a lame duck session, and I don't know if there are any Democrats that will immediately take office. I don't know if there's any special elections that could flip and they'd have an automatic seat. If you win a special election or unexpired term, you take seat then. You don't take it in January. I don't know if that clogs up the pores on that, but this is horrible optics, and the worse. And again, the longer this goes, the worse this gets. So let the pain begin. I know Lindsey Graham said Kavanaugh went through hell yesterday. Yeah, well, I think Protestants believe there's 7 layers of hell or something. So, yep, you went through number 1. You got 6 more to go. These are my thoughts on the Florida governor races. Like and subscribe.